Please start.
Okay, so today our team are going to talk about improvement of university application flow. And in Japan, even after graduation, we still often need to go to the university offices to obtain various certificates. For example, certificates of graduation can be used to find a job, to apply for graduate school, or apply for an overseas visa. And at major university, this is still a traditional and manual process, and it takes a long time to obtain a certificate, especially after the outbreak of the COVID-19. The campus is not open to graduates. Getting the certificate became even more difficult. Therefore, our group would like to elaborate on the infections activities of schools in obtaining certifying documents based on our own experience and proposed solutions that we have considered. Firstly, we have listed the process for getting certifying documents before the COVID-19. If you need to get the certifying documents, you should go to the school office during the hours when the school office is open. It's usually Monday to Friday from 9 to 18. Then ask the school staff for an application form and fill it out on the spot and give it to them. You will then need to present a photo ID, such as a passport, student card, or driving license to confirm your identity. The staff will take about 5 minutes, check the application form and documents carefully. And if the contents of application form are in order, we will calculate the amount to be paid. And the payment is by cash only. And after payment, you will have to wait 10 to 20 minutes to get the documents you want. However, the process of obtaining certifying documents after the COVID-19 became extremely complicated.
Next, I will introduce the process of applying for certificates by mail during the COVID-19. Well, due to the spread of the COVID-19 and the declaration of the state of emergency, the university only accepting applications by mail for the issuance of student certificates. Well, the university are not accepting any applications for certificates to ISME campus and do not accept applications by phone, text, or email. Well, if you live overseas, you need to apply through a proxy who live in Japan. Well, and if you wish to apply for a certificate by mail, you need to prepare the following documents. The first one is the application form for certificate issuance. You need to print out the application for certificate and fill in the required information. The second one is the photocopy of ID card with photo. Present a photo ID, for example, driving license, passport, and etc. that shows your name and address or name of and date of birth for identification purpose. Well, if you do not have a photo ID, then you need to present 2 or more forms of identification, such as health insurance card, pension book, basic resident register card, and etc. that can verify you name, any address, or name and date of birth. If your identify cannot be verified, the university will not be able to issue a certification. The third one is the insurance fee. You need to prepare postal money order for the insurance fee or cash. Postal money orders are available at post office. If you want to send cash, please make sure to use the registered mail. And the fourth one is a return envelope. Specify the reply address on the return envelope with the stamp attached. The cost of the stamps for 1 or 2 applications is about 84 yen, but you need to increase the amount depending on the number of the applications. And the last one is in case of application by proxy, if a proxy is applying for and receiving the certificate, in addition to the documents listed in 1 through 4 above, a letter of attorney from the applicant and a copy of the proxy's photo ID are required. Next. And this is the process of applying for a certificate by mail during the COVID-19. Well, there are actually many inconveniences in the actual process. Well, first of all, for foreign students who have graduated or are not in Japan for other reasons, if they cannot find the attorney who live in Japan, they cannot apply. And secondly, the post office is open from 9 a.m. to 5 a.m. every Monday to Friday. So it is very trouble for some students who have classes during the day and those graduates who are already working to go to the post office. Well, no matter if you are buying the postal money order or just use the register mail to send cash, you need to pay an additional handling fee and must go to the post office. And also the sales time for the postal money order is only until 4 p.m., which is very inconvenient for applicants. As a result, the process of mailing applicants' certificates during the COVID-19 is very inconvenient and inefficient for applicants.
Well, I will show the details of our process now. Firstly, the applicant must fill out the certificate raster form page. After the applicant entire the past school ID number, they can be identified. And if the applicant has changed name after graduation, they will need to fill in the name that used and the name uses now. Then you need to fill in the details of your personal information and check the last box of the document you want to apply for. Well, taking this step, you are to upload a valid document with official photo that provides your personal identity. For example, like a passport and ID card of the foreigner living in Japan. Well, in that step, you also should note that the applicants who have changed name after graduation needs to upload a document with their former name written on it. In the next step, the RPS system will quickly confirm whether the above steps are filled out completely or errors, and if the content is in line with the system settings. In case of errors, the system will automatically return the clone with errors and ask the applicant to fill in again. Well, depending on the documents checked by the applicant, the system will automatically calculate the price. And finally, add the postage and other fees to display the details and the final price in the page. Finally, take to the last step, choosing a payment method since mailing, choosing the payment method. Since many of the university's graduates came from overseas, except to the usual credit cards such as Visa, Master, UnionPay, American Express, and domestic remittance. The overseas remittance and QR code payment can also be used. It is important to note that the applicant will be responsible for all the processing fee incurred when making the payment. To ensure that the applicants can complete the above procedures smoothly, telephone contact information and email address are provided at the end of the page. So the appliance can contact the university in case of any problems. There are our group's suggestions for improving the problems in the university that we determined. We hope that the university can truly realize the social responsibility by using modern technology and artificial intelligence. Everyone who is involved in the university as an organization can feel the convenience of it.
UG. Yes.
UG, okay. Right, Dozo.
Can you see it?
Yes, yes.
So let's start our presentation. Our presentation title is Better Use of ID System for University. We are following this flow. Firstly, these days, thanks to improvement of education system and development of digital technology, university supply diverse supports of learning for students, like students can take face-to-face class and online class and on-demand class. And library has online system. Yes, and for example, Meiji University has own system like Kyotsu Nissho system, common authentication system, and we can use this ID cards. But many students and office workers have problems in daily life for complex procedures. So we focus on three problems in daily life and suggest some solutions for them by better use of ID system.
Okay, now today I will introduce the attendance system in the university. As the picture shows, students get attendance by sweeping their student ID by machine. The teacher obtains students' attendance information through the system. The attendance managed system can be divided into these parts. The first part is confirmation correction of attendance data. You can check the attendance status of each faculty member lecture and check the corrected attendance data. In the attendance studies checked by lecture, it is also possible to review attendance information that distinguish between regular students and non-regular students. The second part is managed from correction. It means outputs at attention list for each lecture and the attendance list for the lectures taken for each student. Although attendance system is convenient, there are still shortcomings. We also consider the system for scanning student ID cards, but find this using this system would increase the number of students who would return without entering the classroom, even if they regressed for attendance. Unfortunately, there was no system that could prevent the return of money and confirm attendance without any hassle. There are many students where students leave disconnected after punching the card, and it is very expensive to store this attendance advice. How can we improve these problems? To solve these problems, we can develop a system for confirming attendance using a student's mobile phone. The conditions of mobile phone system are low cost, easy to use, effective attendance inform, and return prevention. So it is my idea to improve identity system. Next is how to explain improve the home rental system.
And my part is about the classroom rental system. Oh, thank you. In order to encourage students' autonomy, Universities rent out classrooms to students for a variety of reasons, such as for their study activities, recreational activities, or to facilitate communication. Key management is so important to the school that they have created a separate office to manage the keys. The keys, usually managed by the classroom manager, who also responsible for patrolling the classrooms as common. However, for facility like university, it is very laborious to patrol. This discussion is about to reduce the burden of key management as much as possible and make it more efficient. In many cases, the common way of borrowing a key requires a student himself or herself to go directly to the school, to the school office to make a reservation. However, this is inefficient and lacks flexibility. Furthermore, COVID-19 is now rampant, and we want to avoid face-to-face contact as much as possible. On the other hand, sometimes it's difficult to find the rental on time, and sometimes it's difficult to find a classroom for students also. I thought about several solutions about these problems while utilizing the system. The process should work like the flowchart below. Second page, thank you. It's composed by two parts. This is the system-wide process. It is composed by two parts, student side and the university side. Using the system to rent a room online could improve the efficiency by reducing the key management activities. This system has some advantages like 次のページお願いします。Yes. Like student side, they have to log in and go to the classroom rentals website, and they check for the room detail and book a time. Then they go to they go to the key room to use their student ID card to borrow, like touch the student ID card to some device to confirm who they are, and then they can borrow the key. Then if they finish, they touch the card again and return the key to the university. Then on the university side, they receive the appointment from the system, and then they check the student ID. If it's correct, then they rent the key to the students, and then when they finished, they receive the key on time. Next page. This system has some advantage. First, the room rental system will provide the information about classroom which is available for rent, and then it could help students to find the location of classroom easier. And finally, it will make uploading the information by classroom manager, such as location, contact number, etc. is something like it easier. And next page, please. And about the usefulness, this will save time and resource for both sides. It provides rooms. Second, it provides rooms location by map application on smartphone, so they could find the location easier. Third, provide direct communication between. It could provide direct communication between the room manager and student. And finally, the last one is it could reduce the face-to-face contact during this COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes. And third point is IT system for COVID-19. Nowadays, university should cooperate with many organizations and support students who got positive for COVID-19. So university cooperate with interior organization and exterior organization like faculty office, health center, international cooperation office, students affairs office, and most important is public health center, and MEXT is Monpuk Kagakusho. So this flowchart shows what to do when some students have infection like COVID-19. So first, students call his or her university the fact that they have infections, and university start communication with health center and student office in university. And the students is from abroad, communication with international cooperation is needed, but university office communicate with public health center and public organization and stop all face-to-face class. And then university should research 1 and 2 for student support. So, and after research, public health center judge the existence of close contact, 濃厚接触者, and give the instructions to the person. So I focus research 1 and 2 and improve the process operations. Research 1 is that university should start research quickly about the student before public center give instruction to them. So they have to collect situation of classes, extracurricular activities, and resistance situation, friends, and job hunting situation. Then after the instruction of a health center, university should collect information about did he or she live or stay for a long time with someone? Did he or she have contact with someone without infection control? And did he or she do other actions to get infections from 2 days before or physical change to that day? So this research point is be careful to avoid the second infection and duty of confidentiality and collect information as soon as possible. It's need information in detail. I think there are some problems. University research is not necessarily precise and speedy. Information from him or her is limited. The student memory of the students does not include other students well. So final judgment depends on public health center. So university should make research exacter and faster. I have 2 suggestions by this ID system, seat recording system of all students, and health diary. Seat recording system of all students. We refer to Niigata University system. It's called seat management system. When some students come into the room, there's a seat, and on the seat there is QR code. So students can scan this code and they can record all actions in class. So it's very efficient because not only the students who got positive for COVID, all students can record their actions in detail in university. And healthy diary. healthy diary, I suggest. I think this is very important to connect students' action record and health record in this situation. So we have body temperature record, but we cannot record in Meiji University. So we can, if we have health diary, we can record body temperature in this card and health check every day by interview through smartphone by using a common authentication system. Yes. So conclusion is,
Okay, it's my fault. Okay. Here comes the conclusion. In order to improve the efficiency with the ID system we have now, we have suggested the above three direction improvements. In this way will save both university staff and students, which don't have to take more trouble than necessary for both sides. Also, from a health perspective, it is necessary to apply this kind of digital technology during the COVID-19 pandemic. Of course, there are many other points that can be improved and many other ways to do it. Our text only discusses a part of